When you think of big planes, you probably picture jumbo jets, like the Boeing 747 or the Airbus A380, right? Those things are massive, but they're not even close to the biggest aircraft ever made. Today, we're talking about the Antonov An-225 Mriya. Yeah, that's a mouthful. This plane is seriously one of the biggest legends in the whole world of aviation. It all started back in the 1980s, when the Soviet Union was still a thing. They had this really special job for a plane. It wasn't just any plane, but one that could carry giant space shuttles. Yeah, those huge space rockets that need to be moved around on the ground and sometimes in the air. The An-225 was built specifically for that mission. It was made to pick up these massive shuttles and fly them from place to place because no other plane was big enough or strong enough to handle something that huge. Even now, decades later, this plane still holds some crazy records. It's the largest plane ever built and the heaviest one to ever take off and fly through the sky. No other aircraft has matched its size or weight, which is why it's so famous among pilots, engineers, and plane lovers around the world. How big is it exactly? Alright, let's talk numbers because they are insane. The An-225 is about 84 meters long. That's longer than a football field. The wingspan? A whopping 88.4 meters. To give you a bit of perspective, that's wider than a basketball court. It weighs around 285 tons empty, and when fully loaded, it can carry up to 640 tons of cargo. That's like stacking up nearly 100 elephants on one plane. The thing is so big it has 6 powerful engines. Most commercial jets have 2 or 4 engines, but the An-225 needed 6 just to get off the ground with all that weight. What was it built for? So why build something so huge? Back in the 1980s, the Soviet space program had a problem. They needed a way to transport their massive space shuttle called Buran. The Buran shuttle was big, heavy, and awkward to move on roads or rails. The solution? Build the biggest plane ever to carry the shuttle on its back. Kind of like how NASA used the shuttle carrier aircraft to carry the space shuttle on top of a Boeing 747, but the An-225 was way bigger and stronger. It flew the shuttle around the country and even helped transport other oversized cargo like giant turbines, military equipment, and even parts of rockets. Basically, if it was huge and heavy, the An-225 could probably carry it. Divine features that make it special. One of the coolest things about the An-225 is its twin-tail design. Most planes have one vertical tail fin at the back, but the An-225 has 2 side by side. This helps keep the plane stable, especially when carrying cargo on its back. One of the coolest things about the An-225 is its landing gear. It has 32 wheels. Yeah, you heard that right. 32 wheels, all working together to keep this giant safe on the ground. Why so many wheels? Well, when a plane this big lands or takes off, it's carrying a crazy amount of weight. All that weight has to be spread out, so the plane doesn't just sink into the runway or cause damage. Think about it like this. If you tried to stand on soft ground with just your shoes, you might sink in. But if you wear snowshoes that spread your weight out over a bigger area, you don't sink. The wheels on the An-225 work the same way. They spread the heavy load across the runway so it can handle the pressure without cracking or breaking. Plus, having so many wheels helps keep the plane stable when it's rolling on the ground. When it lands after a long flight or gets ready to take off, those 32 wheels make sure it doesn't wobble or tip over. It's like the plane's way of standing tall and steady, no matter how heavy it is. Record-breaking flights. The An-225 holds tons of records. In 2009, it carried a single cargo item weighing 253 tons, the heaviest ever airlifted. It also once carried a total cargo load of 640 tons, which is mind-blowing. It's not a fast plane, but it's strong. Its maximum speed is around 850 kilometers per hour, which is about 530 miles per hour. Still plenty fast for something that massive. Why only one? Here's something surprising. Only one An-225 was ever fully completed. There was a second one partially built, but it never got finished. Why? Well, after the fall of the Soviet Union, the demand for such a giant cargo plane disappeared. Plus, building and maintaining a plane that big is insanely expensive. But the one completed An-225 still flies occasionally, mostly for special cargo missions around the world. It's like a flying legend and a rare treasure. Modern uses. Today, the An-225 is mostly used for carrying oversized cargo that no other plane can handle. Think giant generators, huge construction equipment, or emergency supplies for disaster zones. For example, it has been used to deliver medical supplies quickly during crises thanks to its insane cargo capacity. Challenges of flying the largest plane. Flying the An-225 isn't like flying a regular plane. It's a whole different ballgame because this thing is just huge and super heavy. Because of that, it needs special airports to take off and land safely. Not every airport can handle a plane this big. First off, the runways have to be really long. Normal planes don't need that much space to speed up and lift off, but the An-225 needs a lot of room to get going because of its massive size and weight. If the runway is too short, it just can't get airborne safely. And it's not just about length. The runway itself has to be super strong. When this giant plane rolls on the ground, it puts a ton of pressure on the pavement, way more than usual planes do. So airports need to have reinforced surfaces that won't crack or break under all that weight. Because of these reasons, the An-225 can't just fly to any airport. It's limited to a handful of places around the world that have the right setup. So pilots and planners have to carefully pick where this flying giant can go, which makes its flights even more special. Also, it takes a lot of fuel, around 20,000 liters per hour. That's like filling up a whole gas station every hour in the air. Pilots need to be very skilled to handle all that power and size. Fun facts: the plane's nickname is Mriya, which is a Ukrainian word that means dream. And honestly, that's a perfect name for this giant. When you see it, it's like a dream come true for anyone who loves planes or big machines. Just thinking about how huge it is, how much it can carry, and how powerful it is, it's the kind of thing that makes aviation fans get really excited. For a lot of people, the An-225 Mriya isn't just a machine. It's a legend, a one-of-a-kind marvel that makes you say, wow, someone actually made that. And that's why the name Dream fits so well. Because it really feels like something out of a dream world, flying through the sky. Its first flight was on December 21, 1988. The cargo hold alone is big enough to fit a bus inside it comfortably. Despite its size, it only has a crew of 6 people. Pretty efficient, right? The An-225 is a symbol of human engineering pushing the limits. It shows how we can build machines to solve huge problems, like moving massive things quickly across the world. It's a reminder that aviation isn't just about speed or passenger planes. Sometimes it's about sheer power and capability. So, that's the story of the largest plane ever built, the Antonov An-225 Mriya. A massive, powerful, and unique aircraft that's truly one of a kind. If you enjoyed learning about this plane, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more awesome aviation content, and let me know in the comments what other crazy aircraft you want me to cover.